The Blazers cleared the hurdle of getting to the finals. Now they need to make sure they can return. Portland retooled the pieces around Durant and Aldridge, making sure to sign key starters and bench players, headlined by the free agent signing of center Brook Lopez. Portland envisioned Lopez as a featured low-post presence offensively and defensively to complement Durant. LaMarcus Aldridge was asked to adjust his game to become more perimeter-oriented, similar to Chris Bosh of the Heat. The Blazers went through the regular season maintaining their position as a top team in the West. Durant was still an MVP candidate and one of the league's leading scorers at 27 points per game. Brook Lopez played up to what the team expected and became an all-star alongside Durant. LaMarcus Aldridge, trying to adjust to his new role, saw his numbers dip across the board. He was starting to become unhappy about his decreased role in Durant's shadow, but couldn't say much right now since the team was winning. The Blazers finished the season 59-23, first in the West, and cruised back to the Western Conference Finals. Standing in their way this year was the up-and-coming Memphis Grizzlies. The Blazers were favored to win this series, but the Grizzlies proved to be a much tougher matchup than expected. The Grizzlies were surprisingly able to really bother Durant defensively, and the duo of Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol had their way with Lopez and Aldridge. The Blazers were never able to control the series at any point, ultimately being eliminated 4-2. The setback was really disappointing, and Portland decided a different voice was needed, firing coach Nate McMillan and hiring coach Terry Stotts. Kevin Durant was starting to feel some pressure of being one of the best players to keep falling short, but the Blazers were still the team to beat right now out west. At this point, Durant is considered one of the top 3 players in the league, and the Blazers got off to their usually great start. But in December, the Blazers would take a major blow when Brook Lopez suffered a foot injury that would end his season. Fortunately, the Blazers had enough depth to sustain their high level of play, and Durant was more motivated to carry his team through the season. Kevin Durant would once again lead the league in scoring, averaging 32 points per game, and would finally win league MVP. But just as the Blazers were finding their rhythm going into the playoffs, the Blazers would suffer another significant injury, losing their new starting center J.J. Hickson to an ACL tear. They were now extremely thin up front, so LaMarcus Aldridge would readjust to play center, and Durant would slide up to play power forward. The Blazers finished first in the West again with the same 59-23 record, but could Durant finally lead the team to a championship? The Blazers would reach the second round to face a growing power in the Oklahoma City Thunder, featuring the star backcourt duo of Russell Westbrook and James Harden. This would be a tough back-and-forth series, but the blueprint on defending Durant in big games was out. OKC had other pieces to bother Durant with length and physicality, while Westbrook and Harden took care of the scoring. The Blazers' lack of size was eventually exposed as Aldridge struggled to defend playing center. The Blazers would fall in a tough Game 7 at home and would be eliminated 4-3. It was concerning for Portland that the team regressed each year since reaching the finals 2 years ago. The offseason got worse when the team learned that Kevin Durant was diagnosed with a foot fracture that will require surgery and sideline him for the first 2 months of the season. LaMarcus Aldridge eagerly used this opportunity to showcase himself as a first option he felt he always was. The Blazers managed to stay afloat, and when Durant returned in December, it was business as usual. Durant would suffer nagging injuries that caused him to miss more games here and there, but he still easily averaged 25 points per game when healthy. However, after the All-Star break, Durant would start to suffer more discomfort in his foot, and out of precaution, Portland would shut him down for the rest of the season. The Blazers would finish the season with a disappointing 40-42 record, but still made the playoffs, ending up with the 7th seed in the West. Their first round opponent would be the familiar Memphis Grizzlies, and with no KD, the Blazers didn't stand a chance, and they were quickly eliminated 4-1. Kevin Durant was now in the last year of his contract, and Portland wanted to do everything they could to convince him to stay with the Blazers. Portland and disgruntled free agent LaMarcus Aldridge mutually parted ways, with Aldridge deciding to sign with the San Antonio Spurs. This created an opportunity to make a splash move, and they seized that opportunity when they traded Brook Lopez for superstar center Dwight Howard. Coming off 2 mediocre seasons with the LA Lakers, Howard was looking forward to a fresh start at competing for a title with Kevin Durant. Durant was fully recovered and excited about playing with Howard initially, but the Blazers got off to a slower than expected start. Durant and Howard were still trying to figure out how to coexist with each other in the offense. Durant was still an offensive force as one of the league's best players, averaging 28 points per game. Howard's skills were starting to decline, but he still felt like he didn't get enough touches in the offense. The Blazers' talent kept the team in championship contention, but Howard's frustrations deteriorated the chemistry as the season went along, adding further scrutiny on Durant's upcoming free agency. The Blazers were finished third in the West with a 52-30 record, but going into the playoffs, the Blazers seemed to be in disarray. In the first round against the Sacramento Kings, the Blazers found themselves down 3-2. Durant put on remarkable performances to carry his team to 2 straight wins and avoid the upset. The second round awaited the defending champion and the regular season win record-setting Golden State Warriors. The Blazers stood no chance of winning this series, getting completely dominated game in and game out. The lifeless Blazers were eventually put out of their misery, getting eliminated 4-1. This left little doubt in anyone's mind Durant was leaving Portland. Kevin Durant was now on his free agency tour, and Portland showed the willingness to do anything for him to stay, but Durant couldn't pass up the opportunity to play with the team that just eliminated his team from the playoffs, the Golden State Warriors. This move would create the league's new super team that combined 3 of the greatest shooters and scorers of all time on one team. Kevin Durant and the Warriors would dominate the league for the next few seasons, easily winning back-to-back championships, with Durant being named Finals MVP both times. Unfortunately, in the Warriors' third championship run, Durant would tear his Achilles tendon in the Western Conference Finals, and the Warriors would ultimately lose that series. Earlier in the season, a major on-court confrontation took place between Kevin Durant and Draymond Green regarding Durant's upcoming free agency. This lingered over the team throughout the season and set the stage for Durant deciding not to return to Golden State. He was eventually traded to the Brooklyn Nets, where he teamed up with superstar point guard Kyrie Irving. Durant would miss his entire first season in Brooklyn while he recovered from his Achilles injury, and up to this point, Durant has spent just as much time off the court with various injuries as time on the court. Although, when he is on the court, Kevin Durant is still one of the top players and scorers in the league. Alright, that wraps up season 1. Hope y'all enjoyed all the episodes. Of course, feel free to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and all that good stuff, man. I got more coming later on this year. Be on the lookout for a sneak peek video and maybe some other content coming on the channel as well. This is the Alternate Sports Planet. See y'all soon.